Hello guys, my name is Fluffy and we're back with another Roblox trading guide video, and the topic of today's video is going to be trends. Trends is a little bit of a weirder category to talk about, but as for trends, we're going to be talking about, hype and overhype and all these other things that can sometimes affect items but are not as common on Roblox, but more common in places like Rollimons. So yeah, but this is going to be part 5 of 6 for the Roblox trading guide series. So yeah, hopefully you learned something new about this, but let's get right into it. So first of all, let's talk about it. What are trends on Roblox? Now, trends are pretty interesting, but if we go over here and we go to catalog and we're going to go to Roblox Limiteds and you go to trend right here, you might have noticed that you have things like fluctuating, raising, stable, lowering, unstable, assign. So a very nice example of a trend could be lowering. All right, so for example, all these items right here, they are lowering, they are doing bad. Do not touch these items because they are constantly lowering, they are losing value. If you trade for one of these items, you are voluntarily risking that you're going to lose a lot of profit because the item might screw you over out of a lot of value. Now obviously you have a trend like stable, which means the item's completely stable, it's fine, it's not lowering or raising or anything like that, and it's just sitting there, and it's it might raise occasionally, might drop occasionally, but it's not really doing bad at all. And you also do have something like raising, but again, Rollimons has not used raising for so long simply because I don't know why. Some items do go through like a raising hype and whatnot, such as like frozen horns or something like that. But yeah, let's talk about that really quickly. So what is hype? Hype is when the Rollimons community decides to hype an item and the item ends up doing so good because of that. It is called hype. Hype basically means, oh my gosh, this item has an effect, and because of UGC limiteds and whatnot, all these other items are being copied, but something like frozen horns of the frigid plains cannot be copied because you cannot copy effects on Roblox. And so as a result of this item could become very hyped. So as you can see here, if we go to 6 months ago, this item might just start constantly raising. And then obviously, we have something like overhype, which means the item that peaks. And a peak basically means when an item reaches its maximum extent and then immediately falls after that. But yeah, this is an example of overhyped. So this item got super overhyped and then ended up dropping a lot. So it basically backed down to 600k and whatnot. But yeah, that's an example of hype. So hype can be for pretty much any reason. There's been hype for items like a lot of times. So a classic example is Happy Time. So this item got really hyped. Like I'm talking, for whatever reason, Rollimons overhyped Happy Time. All right, so it was just sitting at a casual 35k and people started overpaying for this item, and it got so hyped that it went all the way up to 70k. But guys, we already talked about it, overhype and peak inflation. So obviously this item stopped at 70k and immediately deflated back down to 40,000. So it nearly lost everything it had gained in that month. Now obviously it went back up and then kind of started lowering back down, but hype like this can always last. And you can see here, when this item was released in 2018, there was a little bit of hype. I mean, this item got valued all the way up to 60,000, just dropped down, and just started acting as like a normal item. Like I said, hype, peak, and inflation, all these other things are common trends that you can find on this platform, and they will always be like pretty weird and whatnot, but they might influence items and stuff like that. It could cause an item to do very good, but you also have to be aware of overhype. So not all items can do very well. But let's give you guys one more example. All right, guys, the last good example I could give you guys is TJ. Y'all might know TJ. Yeah, it got valued at 42,000, went all the way up to nearly 100,000 Robux, and this item obviously died. It went up a little bit because people tried hyping again and just died and just got devalued, and ever since then has not really done very well, other than being close to being 40k at this point in time. But like I said, this item got overhyped. Okay, because of a trend of a new squid being released on Roblox, people really liked it and they overhyped it all the way up to 100,000 in value, which was ridiculous for the time. People were just constantly buying it, but obviously because of the amount of free copies and the amount of fragile people holding on to this item, it obviously fell because people started immediately lowballing it, and I missed out on my opportunity to trade it off when I was at this point. So that's why you have to be very careful with that. Don't love your items too much. If you can clearly see that it's getting overhyped, trade it off as soon as you think it might peak. All right, don't take the risk for that extra profit. If you already made your profit, so be it. Trade off so you don't lose it all. As you can see here, it got valued at 42. When it got devalued, it was a lot less than that. So obviously got revalued and did pretty well, but ever since then has not really done too well or too crazy or anything like that. So yeah, just be careful with these items. When an item gets overhyped, something bad can happen to it. And actually, guys, I cannot end this video off with showing you one more example. I'm sorry, but look at this item right here. A classic example of something getting completely overhyped is something like Blue Sparkle Time Bandana. As you can see, sold for like 50,000 Robux. I'm like, get rid of these sale volume stuff. Sold for like 50,000 Robux, and it immediately goes up to 400 grand. So this is a perfect example of when an item gets overhyped. It can just do absolutely crazy, but you have to be mindful in order to trade this off in case it starts doing bad, because as you can see, it went from 400,000 Robux to selling for just 25. It is crazy how this item can simply do really badly after a while, so you have to be very careful about these items, alright? But yeah, alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video on trends and hype. This is part 5 of 6 of the trading guide series, so hopefully you guys learned something new. Like I said, just be careful with these trend and hype and whatnot, because they can always screw you over, but they can also make you profit a lot. You just have to be really smart about how to trade for these items and whatnot, and you know, determine when the item's gonna peak and start failing. So just be very mindful about that. And yeah, anyways, thank you so much guys for watching this. I'll see you guys later, and bye bye.